Well, who knew, Mike Harmon, that the New York Jets would have such a huge impact on the Super Bowl? It's almost like they played in it yesterday. It's almost like I could close my eyes and think, oh, Mecole Hardman, we signed him for 1 year and $4 million. Months later, here he is catching the game-winning pass in the Super Bowl. Oh, it's like the Jets were there.
Well, he did predict that his team would play in the Super Bowl against the 49ers. So
he did in The Mentalist. Yes, he did that.
So he got that done. Yeah, so good for him.
Yeah.
And good for the Jets to be embarrassed because he's a guy that couldn't see the field because of all in Aaron Rodgers' jackass buddies that were attempting to be on the field and doing so poorly. Good job by you.
I thought the Jets could have a really okay Super Bowl Sunday and not no. Here's a guy that couldn't get on the field, even as horrendous as the wide receivers were. And middle of the season, the Jets trade Mecole Hardman back to the Chiefs. And it's not like Hardman was great with the Chiefs. He caught a couple of passes a week, but there he is, catching the game-winning touchdown, blacking out after he catches it, throws the ball all over the place, doesn't remember what went on. I mean, this is just Jets, man. He couldn't get on the field for the Jets, yet he could catch the game-winning pass in the Super Bowl. Jets, yo.
Well, I mean, you run the same play you did with Tony, and if he could do it, Mecole Hardman can. See? That's the way it works. But, yeah, just absolute chaos.
Now he's a Super Bowl hero. He's going to live forever. He's going to be one of those guys where every year in 10, 15 years, let's look back at some of the big one-hit wonders in Super Bowl history. You know, Timmy Smith with his big game in the Super Bowl for Washington. Mike Jones and his tackle against the Titans. All these guys that won big game. James White and his 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, don't forget, it was the Mecole Hardman game.
Oh, sure.
Not about legacy and dynasties and Mahomes or Reed or Kelsey or any of that stuff. Nope. What game do you remember that one? 58. Oh, that was the Vegas one. Oh, it's the Mecole Hardman game.
Yeah, 3 catches, 57 yards, a touchdown. He's going to be, the best thing that happened to me. I thought I would get there with the Jets. I was excited with the Jets. There he is winning with the Chiefs. That's Jets football right there. You think I could? No. We're going to twist the knife in you one more time on Super Bowl Sunday. And at the very end, not like you could catch a pass earlier in the game where you go, look at that, caught a pass. No. He's going to catch the game-winning touchdown pass in overtime at the Super Bowl. That's what he's going to do.
Well, sometimes you got to get the extra level of angst to come through in a big way. And for you, I mean, you had to enjoy it just to, kind of just shake your head and say, yep, this is why we can't have nice things.
Yep. Not even average things or below average, because Mecole Hardman's an average. Yeah, I mean, below average.
Look,
couldn't get on the field.
He did get that 52-yard reception when the defensive back suddenly didn't know how to play defensive back.
Well, that was interesting. True. Yes, you're right.
That was, because I immediately had to tweet out, since the narrative of the 2 weeks was, Brock Purdy had so many interception-worthy passes, and Patrick Mahomes had none. I'm like, even though that was complete, does that not count as interception-worthy? I'm asking for a friend. Even after he threw an interception, are we going to count that one, or do we have to keep that clean? That one's not on Mahomes. We changed the way we score him at home. I'm thinking of the meaning of the life as you just said that. They're in the hospital. It's like, oh, what does that do? Oh, that's the most expensive machine in the hospital. And he goes, can I touch it? It's like, no. You're not qualified.
Not qualified. That's how it is. Of course, Mecole Hardman. Now, let's start tonight. Look, we have so much Super Bowl to get to, coming off at the Chiefs win their 3rd in 4 years. An amazing game. It was so much fun. Let's start with what's going on today, which are the stupidest controversies you could possibly imagine. Today mainly was, hey, a lot of people are upset. A lot of fans hate Kyle Shanahan and want to blame him for everything. So let's just go over the top with the fact that some of the Niners didn't know the rules for overtime, and the Niners taking the ball first in overtime was the worst thing to do. Both of these things are fine. Today is just stupid because with the hurt falling in, it's what do we do? And Shanahan's an easy target, right? The guy has blown Super Bowls, the end of Super Bowls. Meanwhile, 2 of the ones he's lost to bleeping Mahomes. So, okay, you got beat by the best quarterback in the game. It happens. The other time you lose as an OC, okay, but he's an easy target, and I get it. And if you want to talk about it for other things, I understand, but First of all, why did San Francisco take the ball first in overtime? That's the stupidest controversy. That is just stupid. He mentioned the reasons why they took the ball first in overtime. Because I could guarantee us a third possession as long as the game doesn't end. We could both kick field goals. We could both score touchdowns. And the way the game was going, 2 field goals or 2 punts, that could have happened. And you guarantee that you get the ball a third time. Mm-hmm. That's a great reason. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, but you know what you need if you take the ball second crowd, that's just even more stupid than this controversy. Because what do you mean you know what you need? That's the same people that say you go for 2 when you're down 2 scores late, you go for it first so you know what you need. No, you can kick the extra point and make the last possession worth something. You can go for 2 and not make it, and the game is over. Why would you do that? That's just stupid.
Well, it also ignores the fact that the Chiefs in the final 6 minutes of regulation had run 23 plays and virtually all of the clock, which meant those guys were gassed.
Yeah.
You've already covered up for Greenlaw really well, but these guys, I mean, you saw the second half, right? All of the Chase Young revenge games and Bosa and all of those things, all the pressure that they got in the first half, suddenly they had nothing left. Yeah, so maybe an extra couple of minutes on the sideline. And look, if you finish the drive, by picking up the best defensive player that the opponent has. If you pick him up and at least chip him one bit, it's a touchdown pass to Jennings, and we're having a completely different conversation.
I mean, the reasons were good. The reasons were sound, but it's like no matter what, oh no, it's Kyle Shanahan's fault. It's like no matter what, it was a predisposition to this is going to be his fault somehow, even though, what do you mean? If it was the same rules as regulation over time, okay, I understand, but it's not. They're different, and so this is what it is, and the reasoning was sound, and nothing changed strategy wise. If you're driving, you think you can make the first down, you go for it on fourth down. If you don't think, you punt or you kick a field goal and play defense. I mean, this is the stupidest controversy. It was just, I'm just mad. People are just mad, and they want to make it look like somebody is at fault. And meanwhile, all of that decision making was completely within realm of why you would do it, and the reasons were good. And it's just, let's just take it out on Kyle Shanahan because we lost the game, and because we had the lead and we lost again. This is his fault.
Well,
there's lots of things you want to blame him for. This is not one of those.
Yeah, it's another one of those. Just tack on the data points of lost another double-digit lead, all of those things, and it's the narrative that flows, and something that we had talked about a little bit becomes more of a talking point coming out of the game. Of remember the guy he lost to, not Mahomes, but Andy Reid. Remember his time in Philadelphia. That's all I keep raising my hand to, because eventually they had to part ways and move. So Shanahan getting a little bit of that today, but in the end, if you execute properly, as we said, on the final play before kicking the Moody field goal to send take the lead in overtime, then it doesn't matter. It's a moot point, but it goes wrong. It's like a lot of the Dan Campbell stuff, right? You could disagree with the call, but in the end, players have to go make plays, right? Coaches can draw it up and scheme it up as well as they can. If guys don't finish it off, like, how does that come back on the coach, right? That's the thing I'm always curious, right? If you get blown out of the game from the first snap all the way through and you're non-competitive, yeah, let's talk about the coaches. If they do something that is truly inane in the process, sure. Here, I didn't see anything that stood out as, wow, Kyle Shanahan really biffed it here, but it adds to the narrative of losses in big moments. And when you're talking Mahomes, you're talking the Chiefs, and all of the comparisons to Brady that flow out of it, yeah, you're going back to 28-3, and he's going to wear it for that. Even though, again, he wasn't the head man, but he wears it just as hard.